You find that when people are forced to kind of stay in their doors, when people are forced to kind of look in the mirror, when they don't have the escapes that they're used to escaping into, it becomes hard for people to deny that there's some things going on in their life that they need help with. No matter where you were, no matter what island you were on, we all kind of felt the brunt of these lockdowns and these quarantines. And I think it just goes to show that mental health doesn't have a face. I think a lot of times we believe that mental health or having not good mental health that looks like a certain thing, but that's not true. I can be victim to depression. I can be victim to anxiety as a therapist. I've seen an uptick in marital challenges. I've seen an uptick in depression. I've seen an uptick in anxiety in particular because people just don't know what tomorrow's going to hold.
Do we even talk about mental health in the Bahamas? Nobody's asked me about my mental health before.
I think the last time that happened was probably last month.
It was actually one of my closest friends who asked me how I was doing because he realized that I wasn't as active in communicating with him in a while.
I was asked how I was doing in a WhatsApp group. Yes, it was a WhatsApp group filled with my amazing youth leaders. So somebody commented in the group, they said, "Hey guys, miss you. Just checking to see how you guys are doing."
You rarely get people who actually go out and ask you honestly if you are doing okay, because it's the phrase "are you doing okay" is just kind of manners and just monotonous at this point, I guess.
The closest that I get to how are you is how was your day, but it's never really how are you doing as a person, mentally, emotionally. It's not really asked.
So COVID came March 2020, and then boom, the entire nation on lockdown, quarantine for days on end, not knowing when we'll be able to interact with the familiar faces that we usually interact with. That closed-in experience really took a toll on my mental health. It was bad. It was bad. The anxiety, the depression.
We know that with the lockdowns, it was you wake up, go in the front room or go in the living room. That's pretty much it. You out for an hour, possibly. So the mundane aspect of it, where it's like there is no variety or there is no change. You just stuck in that mindset and then stuck not only in that physical atmosphere. I feel like that was just trying, and as much as you try to hop out and be like, you know what, I'm gonna be happy, I'm gonna be energized, I'm gonna be like alive today, you still get hit back because you can't really do anything.
It's one thing to live through a pandemic and have to accept the fact that you have to make adjustments as it relates to your finances, unemployment. It's another thing to have to deal with a health crisis in the middle of a pandemic. And unfortunately, that became my reality last year. And I can say that initially, I broke down because it was the worst news ever.
COVID definitely affected my mental health. The Bible says, and Jesus said, whatever you focus on, you will see. So whatever you're looking at, whatever you're consuming, that has an impact on how you think and how your brain processes life. So seeing the news, constantly talking about death, put me in a situation where even if I had like a scratchy throat, I was like, I'm gonna die. If, I heard some bad news that someone had COVID, I was like, my family gonna die. Or the economy gonna crash. And that just put me in a state of fear, like it put most people in a state of fear. But I realized again at a point in time, just stop watching the news, stop tracking the numbers, stop paying attention to all of that, and you get a little bit happier. Because just seeing all that bad news over and over and over again did a huge number on my mental health. Made me think I wasn't gonna live past 2020.
My company, they basically had to make some job cuts because of the pandemic, and the economic effects of Corona, they decided that, hey, okay, we had to make some staff cuts. Because I was one of the newest employees, we know how that went. So now my savings is being depleted. I'm not seeing any type of responses from the job I apply into. It was at that moment that, okay, yeah, Corona, you win. I reached a breaking point because I was abiding by the COVID protocols. So I wasn't going out, out for gas, groceries, back inside, social distancing, wearing a mask. I might have wear a mask when I shower one time. You was adhering to everything, and the cases just wasn't going down.
Would you say that due to COVID, the stigma that surrounded mental health in the Bahamas is kind of chipped away at that because there are so many more people inclined to come to you now?
Definitely. When you don't have any other options available to you, mental health and therapy starts to become a very, very attractive thing. In the business of therapy and mental health, it's been an essential service. You know, we were lucky to be operating during the bulk of COVID-19 and during the lockdowns. But you find that when people are forced to kind of stay in their doors, when people are forced to kind of look in the mirror, when they don't have the escapes that they're used to escaping into, it becomes hard for people to deny that there's some things going on in their life that they need help with.
I decided to use that alone time, that time locked in, to work on the parts of myself that I have put on the back burner for years. Because let me tell you, in that beginning time, I felt, the anxiety and depression. Sometimes I didn't even want to come out of bed. I couldn't talk to people because I was just so consumed with my thoughts, and I always picture it as this gloomy cloud, and you can't find your way out. It's you can't see because you're just so consumed by those thoughts, that are guiding you the wrong way. But I was able to break free from that due to my relationship with the Lord and seeking help. I sought professional help. I think it is very imperative when you feel like you just can't take it anymore. You got to go to that next level, and you got to seek someone who knows what they're saying and what they're doing. A friend is great, to just allow yourself to vomit to them. But in the end, obviously they don't have the professional expertise to say, this is because of that, or try this, or, and give counsel to what they actually went to school for.
You can't let this situation determine your perspective. Because we've been through World War I, we've been through World War II, we've been through these pandemics before. We just kind of young, so we ain't ever dealt with something like this before, so it kind of caught us off guard being in a worldwide struggle. But what I think I did was, and what the people I saw handle well, was just capture the morning. The morning when you wake up, what's the first thing you tell yourself? What's the first thing that you do? For me, it was I gotta wake up, I gotta exercise. I gotta wake up, I gotta read. I gotta wake up, I gotta read my Bible. I gotta pray. I got to do something that I love.
Prayer, being active, and then just surrounding yourself with positive energy. I feel like all those three in conjunction with each other really helped in keeping me afloat as things started to get better. As, okay, these opportunities finally coming in. The places that I applied for in March are now calling me back in September. So as things started to pick up, restrictions started to lift, so now we could go out a bit more, and now we have more tests. The tests aren't just for the rich and famous, but now you could actually go and get a test to see if you have it, so you don't have to have that anxiety or, hey, my nose is running, I don't know if this just pepper jerk or I might have corona. If I had to give a suggestion for anybody that's still in one of the previous stage, whether it be defeat, depressed, or just anxious, I would say continue to hold on. I know that's cliche. I know that's what people say, but just continue to hold on. Find community. And when I say community, that's friends, that's family members, or whoever that you could talk to, not only to vocalize and vent and get out, but also to help.
I persevered through it because of my support system and knowing that I was never alone on my journey. My family and my friends were there every step of the way. They made a huge difference inside my life. Honestly, they bring me complete joy and satisfaction, and I don't take an opportunity for granted just to be able to spend time with them, just to be able to call them, talk on the phone, text them whenever we get the opportunity. When we're free on weekends, thank God we don't have those weekend lockdowns anymore, so I'm now able to spend more time with my family, and that is extremely important. That's helped me along my journey with coping with chemotherapy and being diagnosed with colon cancer.
Everyone has this thought process or idea that if you talk about your struggles, you're lesser than or you're weak. Listen, when you hold it in, that's when you are hurting yourself the most. You have to let it out when you are not in tip-top shape. And guess what? You ain't gonna be in tip-top shape 24/7. The gal ain't in tip-top shape 24/7. Especially when I'm cut from community and people and interaction to be able to interact with others and laugh and cry. And the way COVID set it all up was we had to do that through a screen.
I like to believe that everybody is maybe just one argument, one disappointment, one failure away from literally having a breakdown. And that's just the life that we are living. And so I'm glad to see now that more people are feeling comfortable enough to open up about therapy and reaching out to me for therapeutic services. Because I've always been in the vein of trying to destigmatize a lot of that negative energy around mental health and therapy. And so I'm glad to see that my Bahamian people are starting to open up more. The work still needs to be done. It's not done completely, but we're thankful that at least some silver lining behind COVID-19 was that people can begin changing their views around therapy and mental health.
Creating this piece of work was cathartic for me. There's a sense of comfort in knowing that your experiences, whether positive or negative, are shared. So I'd like to encourage anybody that's watching and they're struggling with their mental health to know that you're not alone. And I'd like to encourage everybody watching to reach out to the people that you love a little bit more, to be a little bit more generous with strangers because everybody is fighting their own battle. Extend a little more kindness and take the time to ask, to really ask the people that you love, is everything okay?
Hey, is everything okay? No, I don't want to judge you, I just really want to know. I know you got that smile on your face, but that doesn't mean everything's okay. I know that you're trying to hold on, trying to keep your head up and be strong. Is everything okay? I know it's been a hard year, it's been a lot of pressure, but I just wanna know, are you holding it together? You probably gonna tell me, yeah, I am doing great, but are you losing faith? If so, that's okay, it's okay, cause 2020 has been real heavy. Trials and tribulations, tell the truth, there's been many. It's been a year of gains, also been a year of pain. And ever since Kobe died, we threw the year down the drain. A lot of people cried, a lot of people died, and in the midst of it all, there's been suicide. People have buried mothers, people have buried fathers. Let's check up on the people dealing with all this trauma. Face, but that doesn't mean everything's okay. I know that you're trying to hold on, trying to keep your head up and be strong. Is everything okay? Is everything